We are here. We're starting another micro interview for the Next Rep podcast. And we are pleased to be joined by Nicole Aucoin, the founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. You've had a busy weekend.
Yes, it's been so fun to connect with our clients, see some people that we haven't seen in a while. Just got done speaking, talking about building a nutrition program, monetizing a nutrition program, which is a fun topic that most gyms do not even think about. Like, I know I need nutrition, but how do I actually generate revenue from it? So.
100%. Yeah, it's. I do a lot of intro calls for Wodify.
Yep.
And it's coming up more and more that people are looking for diversified revenue streams. Yep. You know, they initially offer classes, then they maybe branch out into personal training.
Yep.
And the logical next step, or next rep, second time we've done that. Very good.
I like it.
Is nutrition offerings. So I think that's really great that you guys have a resource out there to start that process and get people get their feet wet in offering that sort of thing.
Yeah, you know, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. If we don't address the other 23 hours of the day outside of the gym, our members are not going to see the results that they came to our gym to achieve. So it makes sense to offer it. It's complementary to what you're doing in the gym.
We were just talking to Fern before. It seems like everybody had like a first foray into nutrition. Sometimes it's not always the best first option. There's like a fad diet that maybe, you know, they kind of succumb to, but at least it gets them asking about like the mechanics of nutrition. They think about, what is a carb? Yeah. What is a protein source? What's a lean protein source? What was your first foray into nutrition?
Oh my gosh. I think I tried all different sorts of things. I cheered at University of Florida and I had Go Gators. Had some disordered eating, and our coach realized a lot of us had eating issues and sent us all to a dietitian. But I think for me, it was like more, I was just scared to eat anything because I wanted to look a certain way in the uniform. And I went to a dietitian and realized, oh, wow, I really need to feel my body to be able to have the energy so that I can also achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And I think in a gym setting, the same thing happens, maybe not to that extent, but our members are saying regularly, I'm not hitting a PR. I'm not seeing the results. This workout was really hard. I'm tired. Mm-hmm. Like, how are we as coaches able to make it full circle and be like, well, what'd you eat today? How'd you sleep last night?
Right.
And address those other 23 hours.
Yeah, it's. I think I'm curious to ask you this question too, because you know you guys deal a lot with getting people sort of, for lack of a better phrase, onboarded into nutrition, like getting started initially.
Yep.
But to your point, a lot of really competitive athletes maybe get to the point where they kind of end up on the other end of the spectrum, where it's almost like a orthorexia type thing. Like they eliminated so many food groups, they're left with like, what can I actually eat? Do you guys see that come up in your practice a lot too?
We don't work with a ton of like the games athletes at Healthy Steps Nutrition. Where our primary audience are people looking to lose weight or get healthier, referrals from doctors' offices. So a lot of those people may have tried all sorts of different things. We actually have a number of people on like GLP-1 medications, and their doctors refer them to us so that they don't lose as much muscle mass. But I think I see this often with people who've done like strict macros, like MyFitnessPal is a great example of that. Like, I do not recommend that people track every single thing that they eat. They become obsessed with the food, and then they're like putting food in their body when they're not listening to their body and they're not actually hungry. And they're just like trying to meet a certain number for the day. And people can see really good results without hitting an exact number. And you don't need to give someone a meal plan that they have to follow super strictly to see really good success. I think as coaches, we want to give our clients the plan so that they reach the results. And in reality, if we work in more of a collaborative effort to help them figure out what's important to you, let's create a plan around that. Let's keep you accountable and just focus on a habit-based approach. They're going to see results faster because it'll be more sustainable.
I love that. And do you think, I'm going to selfishly ask a question because I want your take on here. I mean, you get some free coaching. Have you done anything with folks who seemed like, just a little personal backstory on me? I'm 6'2", I weigh like 210 pounds, but my daily burn is like 2,400 a day.
You probably burn a lot. Yeah.
Right. It's almost like an efficiency I wish I didn't have because I wish I could eat more.
Yeah.
Have you found any effective, because so often I may feel like it's trying to come up with creative ways for people to be able to eat less, but are there any tips, tricks, strategies you found for people who are in my predicament that I'm kind of trying to eat more. It's hard sometimes to be limited to 2,400 a day, or it's easy to go over that for me. Have you
Yeah.
found any kind of like quick additions that don't hijack your schedule to maybe bump up that daily burn a little bit to be able to eat a bit more?
So that you can get more calories in. So like how do I meet a higher calorie threshold so that you're not losing weight?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
an easier to make a deficit.
I mean, if you are burning so many calories in a day and you're not able to reach that with eating all, your general nutrition, what you're generally eating throughout the day,
Yeah.
I would encourage you to look at things that you can add in, like healthy fats that are higher in calories, so that you can still have good quality food without just having a candy bar or eating processed junk to meet a calorie amount for the day.
Totally.
I remember going to a seminar with another nutrition company. This was a long time ago, and I won't mention the company's name, but the guy who owned it was speaking, and it was pretty close to our house. And I will never forget, he was telling, and it was a room full of CrossFit athletes and coaches and owners. He's like, if you want to gain weight, then you need to just eat pebbles and eat cereals and eat go to get like a Big Mac. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are we telling people to eat ultra processed food that is actually not going to help them prevent and reverse chronic disease if only it's going to fuel it? Like, why you can, if you need to have a higher amount of calories that you need to get in the day, like you can do this in a healthy way. You don't have to eat complete junk food,
right.
And then you're actually not going to feel well either.
Yeah.
Like I would, for my clients that need to add a little bit more, not as hungry, like, okay, how can we add nuts and avocado and some healthy sources of fat that are high in omega-3s to get you at a calorie place where you're not going to lose the weight because you're burning so much. And it happens a lot with people that have manual jobs. Right? Like you're tall, you burn a lot of calories throughout the day, but a lot of people with manual jobs where they're moving all around or, they're out and about, like they're going to naturally burn so much, especially if they're doing CrossFit too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you need to eat a substantial amount of food and it shouldn't come from junk.
I used to roof in the summers in college and I just could not possibly eat enough.
Yeah.
And now to be young again and be in that position, but, I'm curious too, just with, the prevalence of GLP-1s now.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing that a lot more come up with your clientele, and how are you excited about the future of that?
I think that we have a number of doctors that refer to us that are on GLP-1s. And I think it's a great partnership. When they first came out, I was like, what are we doing here? Like, this is a Band-Aid and it's actually not going to help treat the root cause of what caused people to gain the weight in the first place. And if we're not addressing nutrition and having them prioritize strength training, then we're going to be at a far worse spot when they get off the medications than where they are right now. But for the partnerships that we have where we're actually addressing nutrition and having people do strength training, they're able to see results. And you could do like microdosing of the medications where you're not having as many side effects, but the side effects are real. Like the GI issues that people are having, the bowel obstructions that people are having, the nausea that people are having because they are having this medication that decreases satiety. The average person loses between 25 and 39% of their muscle mass in a year. Wow. Like that's like aging 30 years in one year.
Wow.
The average person after the age of 30, 40 loses 0.8, maybe 1% of their muscle mass. Much slower if they are doing strength training. But if you're on that medication and you're doing a significant calorie deficit, you're going to burn muscle. And research shows you're actually burning a ton, which is going to slow down your metabolic rate and make it a lot worse for you. But if they're getting enough protein in, if they're doing strength training, we're going to slow that number down. I think as gym owners, there's an opportunity to have a collaborative effort instead of you either choose this or you choose me. No, people might choose that, and you want to be able to work together. There's a few gyms that have created partnerships with doctors where it's required for the patient to go to the gym and get an in-body scan so they can test muscle mass and then retest it in 3 months to see, okay, are we losing muscle mass significantly, or is it, a little bit slower, which is obviously what we would want to see, or no muscle mass at all, but that's highly unlikely that would happen because people are losing weight drastically. There's even like one of my clients came in recently, and he is on a different medication, a different version of the GLP-1, GLP-3 for not weight loss, for other things. And he's having the same side effects. I'm like, okay, let's talk about what we need to do. We have a family member who's on the medication, and they take the shot and then they're super nauseous for 72 hours, and then they can start eating, and then it's time for the shot again. And ultimately, the way I see it is, if we're not addressing the root cause, the problem that caused people to have weight issues in the first place through their nutrition, through stress management, through sleep, strength training, we're just putting a Band-Aid on a situation. But there is an opportunity for gym owners, like create these partnerships so that you can provide the services that are not happening in the clinical setting.
I love that, because it's almost like a new little cottage industry is going to pop up. It's like,
oh yeah,
the companion activities to those GLP-1 medications.
Yeah.
I have a family member on them, and that was the one thing she's very fortunate where she doesn't have a ton of side effects, but at least I was hammering home, like, yeah, you might not have side effects, but this is not a free lunch.
Yeah.
You know, like, you still need to do these certain things to mitigate the downsides, muscle loss, and, you know, losing too much weight too fast, because while they may think initially that's what they want, they don't. They want that slow, steady pace. So it's awesome that there's this new opportunity, especially like you said, for gym owners, like, prevent that muscle loss, and they're going to be a lot more satisfied with their results, as you know, and then, you know, retention of that customer is more likely. So
100%.
Love that. Are you ready for the bucket of content?
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm picking.
You get to pick.
Great.
And hopefully be able to read what I wrote.
Okay. What's the biggest opportunity affiliates are overlooking right now? Okay, this is my favorite question. Okay.
Very good.
It goes back to healthcare partnerships. The average doctor has 2,000 to 3,000 patients they see every single year. Oh. 93% of those people are metabolically unhealthy. That's like almost 2,000 people or more that need your help, that need your services, that need help with lifestyle interventions. And the traditional healthcare does not provide that at all. I can tell you from personal experience, I worked as a dietitian in a hospital. I worked in private practice before, in a doctor's office before opening up our gym. And we've helped more and more gym owners create these partnerships, and it's an infinite referral stream for you, because these people need help. They go to their doctor, and the only thing the doctor can do, like in medical research, it says lifestyle interventions are the first line of defense, but they don't have the support and the tools and the resources to provide, other than like the pep talk of like, you need to lose weight. But if they can say, hey, you really need to go to this place to be able to help you with your nutrition and your exercise, and this person calls you and you set up a phone consultation and you invite them in and you get them onboarded, it's going to be a really amazing way for you to serve people who would have never found you in the first place, and for you to make a really great impact. And I think ultimately, as affiliate owners, we're all in this business to help people, to help them like fight chronic disease and help them live their best life. And if we're able to provide this service to people who would have never found us through healthcare partnerships, I will say hands down, that's the biggest opportunity that we have.
I love that. Don't think of a opportunity to meet new clientele just when they're looking for fitness, but when they're looking for health.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully for us, and we did start as a nutrition company before opening up our gym. But when I started Healthy Steps Nutrition in 2012, all of my patients, or clients at the time, I'll call them clients, they all came from pediatricians, kids with fatty livers, high triglycerides, because they were over consuming carbohydrates. They weren't moving. Doctors would refer them to us, and we'd work with the kids and the families. And, you know, they didn't come to our gym because I didn't have a gym at that time. And still to this day, someone can come into your facility or into your ecosystem and just work with you through nutrition, not necessarily through fitness at first, or maybe they get started with personal training, or maybe eventually they do fitness, but maybe they just do nutrition, and it's a way for you to impact them without adding more bodies to classes.
I've always said, I was a trainer for a bit of time before I came to Watify, and I always said that I thought the first intervention, it just makes more sense for that first intervention to be nutrition. It's
less intimidating for people to work with someone without, you know, the perception that people have of CrossFit, like flipping tires, doing crazy stuff. But in reality, can you help them start eating whole foods and provide accountability and support and keep it super simple for people, build that relationship to the point that they trust you, or come in for it in person and realize that you're not flipping tires and it's not super scary. And maybe they come see you for fitness, or maybe they don't.
I love that. And Nicole, tell us about your keynote. What were we talking about in your presentation?
I was talking about monetizing nutrition.
Very good.
You know, obviously we talk about nutrition being the foundation and an important piece of the puzzle, but I was talking about how to make money off of a nutrition coaching program. You guys did a lot of really good research around this when I had Brendan on the podcast, he talked about gym owners with 10% of their revenue coming from additional revenue streams have 50% more annual or monthly income.
Yeah.
And I believe that nutrition should be a huge portion of that. So we talked about how do you build and set up a nutrition program that's more of a membership base, how much to charge, how do you enroll people, and then out of the box things like nutrition only, healthcare partnerships, employee wellness. How do you make money off nutrition?
I love that.
Yeah.
It's well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah.
You were dropping knowledge. You got some head nods from producer Sarah, so you were dropping knowledge.
Cool.
Very good. But Nicole Aucoin, Healthy Steps Nutrition. Thanks for stopping by the Waterfy booth, and thanks for being here. This is an awesome weekend for everybody. So it's great to have the community together again.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks. Cool.
You killed it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.